Hello, I'm Dean Willow Bay on behalf of all of us. Welcome. Fantastic to see you all here.
You depend on Black women to save Wakanda, save the democracy. But when it comes to hearing about the full nuance and scope of our lives, then there's a lot more silence around that.
The Academy realizes that we do have to evolve. We like to think of ourselves as an industry leader, and we have to always act that way, and sometimes we haven't in the past.
Earlier this week, the U.S. military mission in Afghanistan ended. Like all wars, this one came with an enormous cost.
I actually think there's a silver lining to this pandemic, which is it has taught us and really reminded us of some very important truths. The most central one being that we need each other.
For American CEOs, polarization poses both a challenge and an opportunity.
Listen, I do television, I report, I commentate, and I don't shy away from any subject.
I get on the soapbox every time because it's nonsense that we don't own our health information in the US. And therefore there's these walled gardens where they keep it from you. We absolutely want to break through that to make sure patients have their information.
So I know the first 2 seasons of Dissect were independently produced, and it was in the 3rd season that it was picked up by Spotify. And I'm wondering if you can share, shifting from something that TTU and Zakiya were talking about at the bar to then, having the kind of Spotify apparatus, machine, support resources behind it.
We will be looking at GIFs today. They are just another tool in your toolbox that can help you tell stories.
We give it up for these young people, for these young filmmakers. I'm bursting with pride for all of you.
And we're thrilled that you're here with us to celebrate the winners of the 2021 Selden Ring Award for Investigative Journalism.
People centricity in communications is incredibly important. Our ability to express and tell stories, that is our chief asset.
We are subject to huge amounts of marketing hype and advertising and boosterism around artificial intelligence. In many cases, I think without full scientific validation and rigor.
We have a lot to talk about with the recent mass shooting and tragedy in Atlanta. Just first off, how are we processing these recent events?
Despite all the discussion of rampant polarization, Americans share similar priorities for the country. And yes, there are certainly policy differences, but the starting point in the debate isn't one of polarization, but instead one of agreement. How absolutely refreshing.
I just want to say, welcome, come on in, the water's fine.